Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Emmy Grimes. I am an advisor here at Senergy Medical Group. We have the amazing Eliana Ceballos joining us today, and she's going to be just discussing who she is and what she brings to us at the Tennant Institute. And I'm so excited for us to kind of dive a little bit deeper into that. Eliana, let's dive in. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. Well, tell us about your background. What got you started? What brought you to the Tennant Institute?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. Well, first of all, you're going to hear a little accent. So I'm going to tell you, I am from Argentina. That's one of the things that people ask me, where are you from, when they come to do my sessions? And I was born and raised there. I came to the United States when I was 20 to study. Yeah. So I graduated from Pkwy. I studied marriage, family, and human development. And then something happened in my life that was a turning point where it was an awakening moment. And I discovered my purpose. I discovered a lot about the purpose of life and who I am. I actually met this wonderful man and loved my life. And he got diagnosed with cancer 2 months after we met. We actually got married 5 months later, and he passed away 2 years later. So this to me was quite an experience where, obviously I went through so many emotions and transitions in my life. I experienced what sadness is all about, depression, grief, fear, feeling lonely. And I started getting to know myself. And I was so young. I was in my 20s. So you can imagine. And I know if you're watching this, I would love to hear from you if you yourself have experience, right? Having someone pass away or cancer, or maybe experience cancer yourself, or feeling any of these emotions, right, that are so real. And I was in my young 20s living here. My family were in different states, or even my parents were back in Argentina dealing this by myself. And this was an awakening moment for me to realize health is everything. If we don't have health, we have nothing. Cameron was 26 years old when he passed away, and he wanted to live and he wanted to build his dreams. And that to me was a wake-up call. And since then, I decided that I was going to help people with their health. So I became a fitness instructor. I opened my own facility, and I was a health coach. So I've been helping people with their health for many years. We're over 10 years now. And I realized that, that was part of who I am. And as I was helping people, especially with their weight loss journey, I realized that deep emotions were holding them back from achieving their goals. So I had to learn more how to help them really dig deeper to see a transformation for themselves. So I started learning different techniques, energy healing, Reiki, pranic healing, hypnosis, and applying these skills for my clients so they can empower themselves and really see results.
That is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the cool part. Because this is why I'm here. As I was going through this process, right, I'm a big fan of personal development and mindset, and of course I had to work on myself so I can help other people. So when people tell me like what they go through or the emotions they go through, I know how they feel. I've been there. And I'm a big follower of Tony Robbins, and I went to, I don't know, like over 20 events, right? And one of those events, I was listening to the one and only Dr. Tennant. And it didn't matter how many times I attended that event. I was like filming. I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. This doctor is a genius. He's talking about emotions. You don't hear doctors talking about emotions that much. And like, he got it. He got this. And I was blessed to have an appointment with him, and I fell in love with the protocol and got very obsessed learning how to help people deal with their emotions following Tennant's protocol.
That's
And
amazing.
that's why I'm here.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And I book an appointment more for preventive reasons, right? Because I understand that you don't have to wait until you're sick to do something about it. But if you feel healthy, especially anything that has to do with emotions, it's better to take care of it sooner than later.
Absolutely. Well, and it's like you said, health is wealth. Health is how we are molded and obviously are able to function. But it's so amazing your journey to this point and having gone through the struggles, because I always tell people our emotions and things that have happened, our traumas along the way, are what mold us into who we are as people. And so, but it's a very important piece to this big puzzle that we're helping you solve. So I love that. Well, good. Well, how long have you been doing this line of work? I think you might have already mentioned it, but what inspires you to be in this field?
Yes, so I've been doing it for over 12 years now with life coaching, health coaching, and with energy healing, spent it over a year. And yes, and that's when I was like, okay, this is it. And the cool thing is I'm able to add my skills of life coaching and hypnosis and Reiki and mindset to really help our patients to have a transformation in all areas, right? With the energy and also the way they think, because how you think is how you feel.
Right.
And if I can help people think in a different way and help them practice that, the way they're going to feel is definitely going to improve. And that's my goal, for them to have a transformation that's permanent, that they can use in their daily life, so they can experience emotions that are going to help them raise their vibration. Because we know, right, when your voltage is up, that's where the healing happens.
Totally. That's huge. And I love that, you went into this as preventative, but got so much more out of it. And that's oftentimes what we see, with a lot of people, that we're in a preventative state, but there's other things that we maybe haven't addressed, not knowing, maybe an issue that popped up from our early childhood that you were able to discover along the way. So these are awesome things that can be achieved doing these types of.
That's awesome you said that, Emmy, because I have patients that, like, I had a patient this week that something that we were able to target this emotion that happened when she was 5, and 60 years later she's still dealing with loneliness, right? From 5 to 65, and it's a lot of years to carry that. It's a lot of years to be dwelling on that emotion. So that's why I say sooner than later is always better.
Right. Even getting lost.
We have emotions, especially me as a Latin woman, very passionate. So, I totally get it. And I want to have emotions. Emotions are a beautiful thing. And all they want to do is for them to be seen. They want to be seen and acknowledged.
Right. No, that's so true. Well, and I was going to say, even instances in our lives where we got lost in the grocery store, I often refer to that because, at the time it's so traumatic, but then, you forget about it. Time, passes and then you let go. But, these are things that build up in your body. So I love that. But let me ask you this, how would you compare, going towards telemedicine side of things, how would you compare doing a telemedicine appointment versus an in-person session? Because I think a lot of people might be asking, because I can't travel, how do these things compare for them?
Yes, I love doing remote sessions. I really do. So what I want our audience to understand is that we're working with energy, and energy is a real thing, right? We don't know how electricity works. We don't even know how this, we're live right now. Can you believe it? Like, you guys can see us. How is that even happening? How that even works? We don't know. We just know it works. And we work with your magnetic biofield. I don't even touch my patients, right? It's all based on energy and frequency, and I'm using tools that have the ideal frequency for the area that we're going to be working on. So whenever you are home, I want you to imagine like the Apple cloud, right? The Apple cloud, that's a mystery. Like, I pay every month for my Apple cloud. So
Yeah.
all my information stored and file, and I don't even know where that cloud is. And the cool thing is I can connect with that cloud anywhere in the world. Same with you. We are energy beings living this human experience. So we can connect regardless where you are. And I can imagine you being on the table and doing the same protocol, the same steps that I would do if you were in person. It works the same way that if you were at the clinic. So it's something that I love doing. I see great results. And after someone has a remote session, they can't get enough of it. And they just, okay, so it's something that people see the results and it's a wonderful experience.
That's so good. That's really exciting to hear because I know a lot of us are at home right now and can't travel. So that's a huge benefit to us. Is it better to do the first session in person versus virtual?
No, it doesn't really matter. As a matter of fact, if they could do that first session even before they come to the clinic, or maybe do a second session at the clinic, I think that if they're anxious to get started and for some reason they cannot travel, I think that's a great way to start their healing.
Yes.
Going and raising their voltage and their vibration for what's going to happen at the clinic. So no, I highly recommend it. The way we do it, because now a lot of people here. As a matter of fact, I would love to see if you're watching this or if you watch it in the future, if you have done a session with me and if you can share your experience. But the way it works is I will do an assessment before we start working to see where your body is ready to release the emotion for your benefit. And then from there, I'm going to do a meditation to activate your body to receive the healing and see what side of the body you're ready to be work on. Sometimes it's the feminine, the masculine, mom or dad relationships. And from there, I'm going to move 5 feet from your body and start working on your biofield, right, your magnetic field. And the same thing I would do, I would imagine that you were on my table the same way that you would be at the office. Or you can be laying on your couch or laying on your bed and at a comfortable setting, whatever worked for you.
That's awesome. Good. Well, and here's another question, kind of tagging along what you're saying. How far apart do these appointments need to be?
Yes, I would probably say once a week is very effective. One of the questions that people ask me a lot too is like, how many sessions should I have?
Right.
And I recommend, every person is different, but I recommend at least 3 sessions and then assess how the person is feeling. After that, there is maintenance, right? So if I was you, I will do it once every 3 months, once every 6 months. It's kind of like if you think about the filter when you do your laundry at the dryer, right? There is so much lint on the filter. So if we don't change it, what's going to happen with the dryer?
Yeah, it's going to clog up.
Exactly. The same thing happened with this filter right here with our emotions. So we gotta be resetting, we gotta be restoring, we gotta be balancing and aligning so we can vibrate at a higher level. But to start with, I think 3 sessions is a great start and then go from there.
That's awesome. Well, and kind of talking about the conference, I know that we're offering services at the conference, guys. And Eliana, you're going to be offering these services as well, correct?
Yes. So feel free to book a session with me, and obviously we'll be in person. But if you want to book a session remotely, you also can.
That's awesome. Well, is there anything you want to share with our audience out there that they might want to know, coming from you specifically?
Yeah, of course. Yes, we are. I believe that we are in a time of transformation and time where we are feeling a lot of emotions lately, right?
Totally.
And,
especially if you're here in Texas. It's been a struggle.
there's a lot happened in Texas last week.
Yes.
And a lot of people, speaking of that, are living in a survival mode, right?
Totally.
And we have gotten used to that state, right? 70% of people actually live in a survival mode. I'm here to tell you that you are worth it, that you have value, and that you deserve a transformation for yourself, that you come from divine light, and it's worth it for you to process, to acknowledge what happened in the past, to harmonize your body, to raise your vibrations so you can have the life that you deserve, the life that you are meant to live. And I know my purpose is to be a co-creator with God, to help people, millions of people, to have more energy, to have more joy, to have more vitality, and to have more aliveness. And when you let go emotions that do not serve you, you will experience that vibration. You will experience what true joy is all about. That your past doesn't equal your future, that you are a creator of your life. And sadly, on a survival state, it's hard to create. You can't create, you're stuck. So it's very important to raise your voltage, to raise your vibration, so you can see the light at the other side of the tunnel, because you deserve it. And I'm telling you that from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's so true. I mean, we want to live life to the fullest. We have this one life to live. So I love that. We just got a question. So I want to go over there to our questions real quick. If we're attending remotely, can you do one? And I know we kind of answered this, but let's revisit it.
Definitely. We can do a remote session as well. And you can book the appointment with a clinic. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this actually is great too to even mention now, because if you are attending the conference virtually or in person, we are offering discounts to all attendees for the services being offered at the Tennant Institute. And we're going to be getting you more information for that in an email form to you this next week. So you'll know more about those specific details on the discounts. But again, this is a great way to take advantage of what we have to offer, from emotional releasing, detoxing, and much more, of course. So be sure to book those appointments. And if you have any questions, call us at Senergy Medical Group, and we can help put you in touch with the right people and get those answers for you too. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Eliana. This has been enlightening, amazing, informative. And I know our audience members, it was just good to even introduce you, to let them know who you are. So thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.